Okay, so at this point, we have our lines laid out on the top face and the edge. We have chamfered all of the edges, and we've cut all 4 lines in the top of the product. So, again, at this point, what we want to do is start drilling some holes. We have 2 large drill presses 1 and 2 in our lab. This one's new and doesn't have the label up yet, but it'll be labeled right up here. And those will be for the 2 holes into the edge of the product. The other holes will be done on our smaller drill presses next to this. So what I need to do is make sure that this is nice and clean work area here. We have vacuums right next to the machine if not. And I'm going to push this down here. The tip of my bit, these are Forstner bits. These have a short little shank here, well, long shank and a short cutting head. And with this, we're going to use it differently than if you've ever used probably more of a normal drill bit, which is a twist drill bit. So I'm going to take that little tip and I'm going to line it up with the center point where I want to drill one of my large holes. So I'm right in line. I'll show you from another angle here in a second. And I want to clamp this in here good and tight. Please make sure that this is good and tight in here. Otherwise your workpiece could come loose while you're trying to drill, and it's going to create pretty unsafe conditions here. So here I wanted to show you this from a different angle. So we're going to make sure that inside of our drill press vise it's nice and clean. The block needs to be fully seated down into there. And again, the tip of the drill bit here, sometimes you may need to turn this a bit so you can see what you're looking at, but I want that tip to go right down into the intersection of my points, and I'm going to clamp this in here good and tight. I'm going to raise it up. We're still in that spot. If not, have your teacher help you line it up properly, but if your line is correct, once the class is set up and ready to go, the only thing you should really need to do is line up with the holes going this way. Okay, so now we're going to look at actually drilling the hole. My speed is set, my depth is set. Here's my depth gauge. I want to watch that, and when these nuts hit down here, careful that, onto this bracket here, I'll know I'm the whole way in here. So because this is a Forstner bit, not a twist drill bit, these flutes, the grooves are called flutes, only run a little bit of the height of the bit here. We can only go a short distance down into the wood at a time, otherwise you're going to clog everything up, the bit's going to bind and will not come out of the wood, which is a big problem. So to prevent that from happening, what we're going to do is go in roughly 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch at a time until we've ran the whole depth here. So first of all, long sleeves up here, nothing loose on, so I should really take this off. No gloves, no jewelry, my ring I've already taken off, long hair tied back, anything like that needs to be taken care of. You should have your closed-toed shoes and all that stuff to take care of. So once I'm here, I like to give it a shake to make sure it's good and tight there. We do not want that to come loose. We'll flip the machine on and go ahead and start to drill our piece. Now, when I flip this on, first of all, this is the maiden voyage of our new drill press here. I'm just a little bit off center now, so I'm going to adjust quickly. And again, if something's off, please let your teacher know. We don't need, we really don't want students making adjustments just for the sake of liability. Back in line now, so that looks pretty good, maybe just a touch more. Again, by the time you start the project, this should be taken care of here. Just gonna hold it there. Why clamp it down? There we go. Try that again. Flip it on. I'm gonna go approximately 1/2 inch deep down into the wood. I'm gonna bring that out so all those shavings come out of there. Now let me stop real quick and show you this. We should, and it's gonna depend on the piece of wood that you have really, how dry it is or how moist it is, but make sure you can see this here. Typically, you're gonna end up with something that resembles pencil shavings. Okay. If you're getting powder, you're feeding too slow. You need to go faster. If you get smoke, you're going way too slow. You need to speed up significantly. Okay. It's not going to be good for the bit. It's not going to be good for your part. So again, keeping an eye over here on the depth gauge. Half inch at a time. I'll go to where I feel it hit where I was before. Another half inch. Pull it clear out. Back in. Half inch. Back in. About half inch. And last one. Almost there. There we go. Things to avoid. Don't let this down in here and keep spinning inside the wood. It's not good for it. It's going to create a lot of friction, and we don't want that friction. Don't touch the bit. It's going to be very hot. The more people that use it during the period, the hotter it's going to get. And then we have the vacuums here. What we're going to want to do is use the vacuum and clean off our work area. So make sure it's plugged in. Please make sure you put that back neatly. And just to show you what I'm doing here, the vacuum should be wrapped up nice and neat. Don't leave it laying everywhere. And at this point, we can loosen this up. Got my whole depth here. Flip it around to the other side, line it up correctly, and repeat those steps again. So, and just make sure you're lined up well. We'll take this in multiple steps so we don't bind the bit down into the wood and just come out with a couple nice looking holes.